r/ask Reddit. What industry should we just let die? My math lab. Though apparently that was the wrong answer. The correct answer is my math lab. My answer. 3.8. Correct answer 3.8. I hate my math lab. I hear people complain about this, but I've never had it happen to me. I have had. Your answer. 33/4. Correct answer. 66/8. Yellow Pages. Every year they leave 100 copies of their Yellow Pages book in my building's lobby and no one ever picks one up. Every person or business I would ever need to look up or call can be found online. Google has killed this industry. If the only way to access your business is a tiny phone number on a random page of an overly thick book, you're going to need to do something about it anyways. Commercials that play on old people's fear. Well, if Fonzie says reverse mortgages are a good idea, who am I to disagree? We call that a Fonzie scheme. Give us all your personal information so we can scan the dark web for your personal information and then lose your info to a hacker who will sell it on the dark web. I lose my shit every time I see that commercial. You got everyone's data hacked. Your poor security. Your shitty ducking system that no one wants to be a part of. Now you want to charge people for you to protect them from you? This is ducking extortion. And the ducking dark web. Ducking really? How are you scanning the dark web, Experian? You got a white paper on that? No, it's the dark web, they got a black paper. Ticketmaster. I'm fine with there being a website for reselling tickets. The problem is just how abused the system is. Scalpers selling in bulk, convenience fees, and just plain jacking up prices really pisses me off. For-profit prisons. I read somewhere that an ideal prison system should put itself out of business. Imagine if private prisons got awarded new prisoners based on whoever has the lowest recidivism rates. Televangelism. A number of years ago, my sister moved to Oklahoma and took a temp job advertised as a check processor for a non-profit. I'm happy to hear she's getting settled. 3 days later, she calls me up for sisterly advice. Says she needs the money, but feels like she should quit. I'm fully prepared to give her the pep talk, until she breaks down and tells me that her new job is opening envelopes filled with checks and prayer requests. They process thousands of checks per hour and toss all the accompanying prayer requests in the dumpsters. She was basically working for the Robert Tilton lockbox. The very scenario that had gotten the dude in trouble years earlier was somehow still receiving donations at a marked clip. She quit soon after our conversation and contacted the authorities. Not sure if he was ever shut down. Working for someone who exploits down on their luck Christians for money sounds absolutely soul crushing. Glad she got out of there. She carried a lot of guilt. She's cried over the trashed letters for too long. Timeshares. I hear more advertisements to get people out of them than into them. I actually know a person who loves a timeshare. She is an older lady at work. She says it works great for her and her kids and grandkids to get together. I think the trick is you have to really like the place you are going to. You don't mind taking the same vacation over and over basically. Would probably also help to have one in a place that's not seasonal. No one wants to ski in Aspen in July. Actually, the Rockies are very beautiful during the summer months. Plenty of hiking and biking to do. And all the nice restaurants that you can't get a reservation to during the winter are available. But you agree that you don't want to ski Aspen in July. Not really an industry, but can someone please take Sears Kmart out behind the barn and put it out of its misery? Our last Sears in Canada closed this week. In their final hurrah, Sears had a huge inventory liquidation sale. But there was a big controversy because a lot of the sale items were actually increased in price. Goodbye Sears, you won't be missed. The sad part is Sears could have been Amazon. I mean, they basically started out as something along those lines. Man, they missed the mark. When Sears started the catalog business, they were Amazon. There was nothing else like it. You could shop and browse, then put in your order, eventually just over the phone, and it would just show up on your doorstep. They just didn't keep up when the sales business began changing directions. And when they did follow along, it was just too late. The part of YouTube that continues to feed and fund people like Paul Brothers and Rice Gum while people who create content and work on them for days at a time to entertain their fans get the long shaft of the monetization. Also weird as Elsa video and such that has been ignored for years and cause a few advertisers to pull away once the media report it. Anything the millennials are killing. Like Applebee's if I'm in the mood for cheap bar food. Why would I pay restaurant prices for a bar themed restaurant when I could actually go to a cheap bar? But much more importantly, diamonds. Diamonds are a lie. They literally just made up the fact that diamonds are rare and desirable and watched millions fall for the advertisements while exploiting African people. Millennials are killing the overpriced taxi industry here and don't I love it. Sex trafficking, child prostitution should really be stopped. Preferably not with the death of the workers, but with the incarceration of the traffickers' pimps. I know a girl that fell victim to lover boys at 12, got saved at 14. She's a great person, really smart, a pleasure to be around when she's living in the moment, very upbeat and happy, but boy did it duck her up mentally, very severe self-harm, her arms are covered in scars, dissociations and afraid of old men, she must have gone through hell. I'm not one to often give a shit, but seeing such a great person suffer really sucks. Is lover boys a stand-in for some human trafficking ring or some specific brand? I thought it was an English term, but apparently it's only mostly used in the Netherlands. They're guys that earn the trust of vulnerable teenage girls and groom them for prostitution, usually as boyfriend. Cable, specifically Comcast. Man, duck Frontier along with it. They roped me in with a package for $90 with a 2-year contract. Yet my bill keeps increasing by about $7 each month. Right now I am close to $130 mo. Call them up and say you have to cancel because you can't pay. My bill went from $120 to $50. I did. 3 times actually. The first time, they said the best they could do was $106. Took it. Since Spectrum was offering a similar amount. Plus the hassle of porting out the phone number didn't seem worth it. 2 weeks later, I get the notification for autopay for a bill of $127. Called again, and they basically told me to pound sand. I cancelled and got Spectrum instead. I got the same bundle for $96, with no contract, faster internet, and twice as many channels. Frontier did leave me on hold for 2 hours when I called to cancel though. I'm going to go with the diamond industry, mined by slave children for a good majority of the diamonds on the market, intentional shortages to artificially increase prices, and they're only slightly better than moissanite for the shiny factor. I'll take moissanite or lab diamonds any day for jewelry over genuine. If when I get engaged, I would prefer a lab diamond. Shit, I'm even leaning towards precious metal with CZs, because diamonds just aren't worth it. They are just pretty stones that ancient royalty gave value to because it was something the poor people couldn't have. Lab diamonds are only fake in the way that ice from a freezer is fake. I saw a great bumper sticker the other day. It said, "Quit making stupid people famous. Whatever industry that is, kill it." Yeah, duck bumper stickers. Finally someone with the bravery to say it. Homeopathy. It doesn't work. We know it doesn't work. It's literally water. At best, it's the clinical application of the placebo effect. At worst, it's stopping people who don't know any better from seeking proper evidence-based medical treatment and dying from curable conditions. MLMs, like those body wraps, Herbalife, whatever else industries. As a former company-side employee of multiple MLMs, I couldn't agree with you more. There is a finite group of people who will make good money in that industry, and it comes at the cost of alienating or indoctrinating every family member or friend you have and making every new person you meet a potential mark. They'll put dollar signs in your eyes and encourage you to chase sales goals at any cost. Think of them as cults, because that's what they are. They have their own language, insider terminology that make the uninitiated want to understand. There's almost always a founding visionary or two and a hot pimp hand of ground floor of brokers they trot out at every rally or meeting you attend. I could talk about this topic, the good and the bad, for days. Cable TV. 10 minutes trash show old movie. 10 minutes ads, repeat. I work in IT for a cable TV company, and if it makes you feel any better, we're slowly getting there. Revenue is falling at an alarming rate. Lobbying with monetary contributions. I won't pretend to fully understand the mechanics at play, but this seems unethical. The net neutrality situation brings this to the forefront for me. Forming groups and organizations to petition lawmakers is good, but paying for policy is not. I would be content with it if the whole process was made very public. I want it to be common knowledge of who is giving what to who for what. For-profit education. For-profit prisons. They are literally just doing what the government paid them to do. House more and more criminals. If we restructured the incentives so the companies got paid for reducing recidivism, increasing productive output of its ex-prisoners, decreasing mental health issues and violent episodes, then chances are private prisons would become models of how to rehabilitate criminals. We could then implement their policies in public prisons. Make it so they don't get paid for volume. They get paid for quality outcomes. Million reasons this might not work, but since our public prisons are horrible too, then might as well try. The current way of doing journalism. I always think of that one headline from CNN or something that was something like breaking news. The Titanic sank 100 years ago. The wedding industry. There was a time when weddings were informal gatherings rather than these elaborate bourgeois festivals. And though I never lived in that time, I miss that with every fiber of my being. And seriously, why the duck do you put on these shows of wealth when you don't have wealth? And not only are they needless shows of wealth, they're incredibly overpriced. Wedding cakes, dresses, venues, and basically everything costs way more than it's actually worth. For Christ's sake, if people had half a brain, this industry would have been dead on arrival. I blame shitty family members. Honestly, they're the ones pressuring people into these elaborate affairs. Puppy mills, cruel breeding of animals. Not an industry per se, but the mother ducking penny and nickel. They serve no purpose and cost US taxpayers billions to make each year. Canadian here, would definitely recommend getting rid of the penny. Never met anyone here who misses them. Cable television. Prices are high and shit like Comcast with hidden fees and shady practices. Between Netflix and Amazon Video I can watch everything I want. Middlemen industries. Looking at companies like Ticketmaster. Car dealerships. If we were able to purchase directly from manufacturers, prices could drop significantly. All of them. If it's dying, let it. Such is the natural order. Pharmaceutical sales. Doctors and patients aren't doctors and patients anymore. They are salesmen and customers. Also, the commercials are annoying as hell. For the most part, my professors seem to be understanding the ridiculous cost of books. 4/6 of my courses this semester use open source textbooks with links to them provided in the syllabus for free online access. You can purchase a hard copy of most for less than $50. The one stats book I had to buy was $200 plus though. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.